Hi, I'm Helen. Welcome to Think and Grow Slim. Thank you for joining me. I know your time's very valuable, so I appreciate that you're choosing to spend it here with me today. What I'm going to do in these modules of this course is talk you through some hints and tips and ideas that will help you to get the best mindset to help you to be successful on your weight loss journey. I know it can be really difficult to keep your mind in the right place when there's tempting food around. It was certainly a problem that I had in my late teens and early 20s. But luckily for me, I figured it out when I was in my late 20s. And now, 30 years later, I've managed to keep my body at a weight that I'm really comfortable with, that's healthy for me. So I'm going to share my experiences with you. I also used to run a slimming magazine club, if you remember those when they were running back in the day. And the course that we're doing here today, I've run this as a seminar face to face and helped some ladies with one-to-one coaching. So I do have quite a bit of knowledge that I'd like to share with you, and hopefully it will help you too. Now, before we go any further, I do have an important disclosure to make around health. I'm a coach, a mindset coach. I'm not a trained medical practitioner. This course will provide you with advice and support for the best practice towards healthy eating and exercising and the lifestyle that will help you to get to your goal weight. I recommend that you consult your doctor before changing your diet or before starting an exercise program. Also, this course is not intended for use by anyone with any medical issues or who suffers from eating related illnesses such as bulimia or anorexia nervosa. If this is you, please go and see your doctor right away. It's important that you eat regular meals and ensure that you eat a range of food to make sure that your body gets the nutrition that you need. You can either seek advice from a qualified nutritionist or research and educate yourself to ensure that this is achieved. This is important. It's all about looking after your body, being healthy, and making sure that your body is working the best way that it can, so it's healthy, you have more energy, and you can enjoy the lifestyle that you want. That's what we're trying to do here. So I don't have all the answers. Most of what you're going to hear is based on my own experience and the experience of the ladies that I've worked with in the past and the research that I've done myself. But I'm sure we can help you. So before we get started, I'd like to remind you of a quote that's very much at the forefront of my mind. It's from Thomas Fuller, and he says, "Everything is hard before it's easy." So what that means is, if I take myself back to the early years when I was really struggling and I didn't know what to do, I found it almost impossible to successfully lose weight for any amount of time. Now I find it relatively easy. Of course I have bad days, we all do, but the overall pattern of eating well and exercising regularly will keeps me on a level playing field, and it can do that for you as well. So let's get started. Hopefully you've seen the agenda for the course before you signed up, so you know what we're going to be going through. So I'll now continue with the introduction. It's very easy to think that when you're going to start a new weight loss program, you're going to rely on willpower, and willpower is important, but it's only one of the things that you need to have in your toolkit. Willpower on its own isn't going to do the job, because it's going to abandon you when you need it the most. So what you need is to build up your toolkit with lots of different strategies and different ways to approach situations that are difficult for you, so that you can go into your toolbox and pull out whatever it is you need when a situation arises that challenges you on your weight loss journey. So the easy bit, what do you need to do? Well, we all know that to lose weight, you need to consume less calories than you're burning up. So in other words, eat less, have less units of energy coming in and more units of energy being used up. And that gradually over time will help you to lose weight. Now, that's the easy bit. We all know that. So why can't we do it? Well, I've looked up some of the responses that I used to get from ladies when I used to run this seminar. Some of the things they said, it's for convenience. Sometimes it's easier just to grab the nearest food, or social event sabotage the efforts that they're making. Maybe they visit somebody's house and they don't want to be rude by not eating the food that's offered, or they're out and they're drinking and they're having a good time, and that becomes more important in the moment than their weight loss goal is. Other things that they say is once it goes wrong, it tends to stay wrong. So if there's a small blip or a small event that occurs, that can completely throw them off track. Secretive eating, eating the kids' leftovers, generally anything to do with feeding kids, that can be chaos. Beating themselves up when it does go wrong, that's not really very helpful, but we all do it. We've all done it at some point. And just joining in when other people are eating. So maybe at work somebody brings the cakes in. Those are the kinds of things that people struggle with. So what I'd like you to do, you need to have a book, a notebook, or something where you can make notes. I suggest you get yourself a nice book that when you look at it you think, yeah, I want to deal with this, because it just makes you feel nice. And then keep all your notes for not just this course but your slimming journey all together in one place, so that that's part of your toolkit. You can go and you can look at it and you can think, well, what did I do when I was at that meal, and what was it that person said to me, and what did I learn on the course? So you've got all your information there in one place. Now what I'd like you to do is pause the video now, go and find your workbook, and then I'd like you to have a think about what the challenges are that stop you. So I've given you some ideas there from things that people I've worked with in the past have said, but what is it for you? So pause the video, take a moment and write down all the challenges that stop you from successfully losing weight, or that have stopped you in the past. I'll give you a moment to do that. Okay, so now you've got a list of the particular challenges that you face. What I'd like you to do is to think about each one, and to think about, okay, when this happened, what did I want the outcome to be instead? So for example, maybe you went out for a meal and before you went you thought, I'm not going to drink any alcohol tonight, and then that'll help me to keep focused on what my goal is. But when you got there and you were enjoying yourself, you decided to have a few drinks, and then you decided to have some chips, and then you decided to have a pudding. So when you look back on that, how could you have overcome that? What could you have done differently? So for each thing, have a think about, if you were in that situation again, what would you want to do that you didn't do last time? Now, I'll give you an idea of something that I do. I like to turn things into a game. So when I know there's likely to be a challenge, it's like, haha, I see you coming. You're not going to catch me this time. This is what I'm going to do. So maybe I'll give you a couple of examples. Maybe when I feel like I want to eat some chocolate, I think, okay, I can eat chocolate. And again, just sidestepping for a moment, that's a really important point. Don't ever ban anything. If you say to yourself, I'm never eating chocolate again, you'll suddenly make it the most attractive thing in the world. So you're an adult, you can make your own choices. You can choose whether you eat chocolate or not. But what you need to remember is that if you choose to eat that chocolate, there is a consequence, and that consequence is it's going to delay you reaching your weight loss goal. So back to the point, I make it a game. I say to myself, okay, I want to eat some chocolate. I'm going to wait 10 minutes. So this completely takes out the impulse and the mindless eating, where suddenly you've eaten it and you think, oh my goodness, what just happened? I was just going about my day and now suddenly I've eaten a bar of chocolate. By saying, right, okay, I'm going to eat this in 10 minutes time. I've got 10 minutes to think about it. I've got 10 minutes to think through the consequences, to think, right, do I really want this? Do I really want this enough to delay my success? Do I really want this enough to maybe feel a little bit bad about myself after I've eaten it? So I've got that time to stop and think. So that's one of the things that I do. What I'd like you to do is to pause the video, go back through the list that you've just written, and next to each item write down, okay, what could I have done differently? What would I like the outcome to be? What's a better way of handling this? So again, pause the video and take a few minutes to do that now. Okay, that's great. Now remember, what we're learning here is new ways of doing things, new strategies. There's a saying that if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you always got. So if you keep on doing the same things that haven't worked for you in the past, it's fairly obvious that continuing to do those things in the future isn't going to help you either. So that's why I'd like you to just take the time to think about different ways that you could do things. Now, this is a learning process. We all like to think we're going to wake up on Monday morning and suddenly it's going to be easy, but it's not. You've probably spent a long time embedding the habits that you've got now. And what we need to do is to step back, bring your behaviour into your conscious mind, because a lot of overeating is unconscious. So bring it back into your conscious mind, unravel it a little bit, and then do it again a different way. So it's going to take practice. If you started going to the gym, you wouldn't expect to just get on the treadmill and be able to run a marathon, or go out on the roads and be able to run a marathon. You know that you need to build up to it. But we don't give ourselves that same grace when it comes to changing habits around eating. We think, oh, Monday morning, I'm going to have loads of willpower. It'll be really easy then. And of course it's not. So just think, what little things can I change? How can I bring this into my conscious mind? And just gradually start to do things differently. Accept that there's going to be little blips. Things are going to go wrong. Just each time think, right, what can I do differently? Okay, that's the end of our first module. I hope you're getting some use out of this. Please make some notes on what I've talked about in this first module here, and also have a separate list of things to do. When any of us go on a course, we write lots and lots of notes, and hopefully in the moment we feel like this is really great, this is really motivating, I'm really going to do this. But then when we look back, there's a lot of information all written in one place, and we can't find the bit that we're particularly looking for. So what I do in my notebook is I have the notes at the front, and then I have a to-do list at the back. So the key points, the key things that I'm actually going to change are in the back. Now this is important because you're investing time, you're investing money in this course. If you don't do anything differently, then the results that you're getting aren't going to change. So you've made the decision by buying this course and by coming on here that you want to make a change. Don't leave this without committing to do something differently. So as a result of watching module 1, please make a note of what you're going to do differently. Okay? Right, that's the first session over. In the next session, we're going to look at goal setting, rewards, and visualization. I'll see you there.